Hey guys, Delt here with another class that you don't see me play very often, Fighter. Fighter got a new perk last patch, Sword Mastery, and I personally don't think the class needed it. You could say that it's a different perk for a different playstyle, but it honestly just makes everything that fighters do better, other than the ones who use halberds that you basically never see anymore. Most fighters will be using a falchion, an arming sword, or a longsword, and this is a direct buff to one of the most flexible classes in the game. But before I make any judgments, I wanted to play it first. And instead of using a best in slot kit, I'm going to be using a fairly standard gear set that was all solo self-found. I had 3 games, but I narrowed it down to 2, and this was the fight from the first. There was also a slight change to the perk since I recorded this gameplay, but that shouldn't affect this video at all since I have a buckler. Instead of having a higher impact resistance, you gain 10 move speed while your shield's up. Hope you enjoy. Okay, so here we are in our first full game, and I don't like this spawn because it's out in the middle of nowhere, and if you run down that hallway, it's just a dead end. So we're just going to go right up the stairs and try to head toward the Lion's Head chest to our south. And I always try to clear out these 2 goblins before I go down, because these are the ones that'll be in the way as I come back up. But as I was clearing them, I heard a cleric starting to buff up, and he starts to run towards me. And this fight was a little messy, mostly just because I have awful aim with bows. Right there when I hit the 2 Franciscas, I was contemplating pushing, but I didn't know what gear set he had. If he has smite and I'm fighting him with smite up, I will lose. And that's why I just continued to throw things. And since he healed and I have the bats on me and I took a bunch of damage, I'm going to back up and also heal. And I finally got my space to heal now because I locked him in there with all of the mobs. Instead of using one of my surge kits, I just started using bandages to be safe in case he actually made it through, if the mobs are still aggroed on me or whatever, something like that. But when I looked through the doorway, I saw that he wasn't here, and so I'm just going to finish with the surge kit. Round 2, fight. Just kidding. He ran away through the pots, so I'm just going to kill this archer goblin so it doesn't mess with me later. And now I'm going to run around and take the fight again. I'm just going to assume that he's full health. but he wasn't. So he started to do the same strat as me where he ran through the door and I try to quickly kill the mobs that are there. But then I realized that they're actually just still aggroed on him. So I just opened the door and let them out on him. Zubat, I choose you. And then when I realize he's just fully stuck in the corner and he doesn't have smite, I go in and finish the fight. And he wasn't geared at all, but in my opinion, clerics are very strong. So I was trying to play it safe and I got hit by a bunch of mobs at the beginning, which wasn't good. He did have an epic magic staff. So that with smite was doing a lot of damage. And that with holy strike was also doing a lot of damage. But other than that, he didn't really have any gear. So honestly, great fight to this guy. He did really good. And now I'm just going to campfire real quick to get my second win back. And our whole purpose of coming down here was for this lion's head chest, so we might as well grab it now. Apparently I'm too fast for my own good when I use sprint. At this point, I just start heading toward the center of the map. I'm trying to get into as many fights as possible, but I don't think I actually find anyone else this game. And I figured I might as well break these boxes too to try to get as much gold or whatever else as I could. The problem is that I'm already fairly full, so I'm just trying to figure out what I actually want and what I don't. Honestly, going back and trying to commentate over all of my fighter videos is really hard because there isn't as much thought placed into everything that I'm doing as there is with Barter Cleric. I'm sort of just running around like, hey, is anyone here? No. Is anyone here? No. All right, I'll loot some. Is anyone here? No. And I'm sure that the fights are probably really good for content, but I'm trying to have full gameplays too to see what I'm doing for if somebody hasn't played fighter before and they wanted to try it. And yeah, you just kind of walk around, dude. And if I keep going that way, I'll head toward the edge of the zone, so I'll just keep running around this way. And there is a static in this room. Since I've been full on gear for a while, I'm contemplating leaving, but I still want to maybe try to find another person to fight. So I'll loot the lion's head, and if someone comes, cool. If not, I'm probably just planning to leave. And nothing in here is really too great, so we're just gonna head out. Go next game. Game 2. My entire goal was the same as the first, run around and try to find people, while also leading up along the way, because who knows, you might get some upgrades here and there. Here, I'm just deciding to pull basically this whole side of the room and kill them all together, because that means that I could hit a few of them at the same time. But instead, I just took some damage. Oh well, it's still faster than just clearing one thing at a time. They're all together for you at least. And now we grab the lion's head chest here. And now to the center of the map we go. There is a centipede under this room, like directly below me if I jump through the hole or went down any of the multiple ramps that are in the room. But I was just trying to find PvP as much as I could rather than that, so I just sort of ran through the room rather than clearing it fully. While I was here, I was contemplating if I wanted to go check Cave Troll to see if anyone did it, but I literally didn't hear anything while I was standing here, so I decided not to. And now I'm just going to clear out this room a little bit, get the lion's head in the center, and then see if I hear anyone heading toward this way. This is the center of the map, and so a lot of times people just end up here, whether they mean to or not. Sometimes they don't, though. I finally hear another player. I finally see another player. And he's a wizard, so I have to be a little bit careful about Ignite, but other than that, as long as I don't get hit by a fireball, I'm pretty okay. Zap will hurt a bit, not the biggest deal in the world though. He's fireballing the door, so just back up so you don't get splashed. And right here, I made a big mistake. I should have just pressed Q and sprinted directly toward him. I would have killed him very quickly, but instead I backed off because I know that he hit me and I didn't hit him. And that's just a slight lack of knowledge when it comes to fighter, or like lack of muscle memory. If I was a bard or someone, I would have known better. Or if I was a cleric, I would have known that I wouldn't have caught him, so use holy strikes, but I don't play the class a lot. Anyway, this wizard has a crossbow. He's trying to crossbow ignite me, so just dodge those and we're also still good. Honestly, I understand that crossbow ignite's cool, but fireball's literally just better. Once again, while he was buffing, I could have just pushed him, but I'm used to not being able to do that since I play bard, so I'm sitting here holding a corner with my bow. Beat him once, we're gonna see if we can do it a couple more times. If not, we'll just switch to our falchion and beat him up. All right, and that is a wizard down. He had some decent loot on him. He didn't really have the best gear though. He had a blue spellbook in his inventory though. Honestly, if he just used that and started to fireball and zap me, it would have been a whole different situation. If I didn't hit my like longbow shots or didn't push him correctly, I would have just lost. So if you're planning to play Ignite Wizard in the future, remember that you're still a wizard and that you still have all of your other spells too. You're not just like a buff ball, I run in and fight everyone. I know it feels really good when it works, and it works probably a little bit more than it should because it's really strong, but it's definitely not the best. You don't have a lot of health. Anyway, I'm just planning to loot this guy up and then head on out. But another player has entered the chat, so I'm just gonna shoot him with some longbow shots. He probably just wants to take my portal, so I'm just gonna not let him do that, but be as annoying as I can until then. He just sprinted through my portal now, so I'm just gonna take it so he can't. And do you remember when I said I'm not wearing this? Well, this is what you should gear like as a fighter. The only thing that I would change is instead of having a dagger as my secondary, I would put a short sword because it still works with the sword mastery perk. Anyway, here's all the loot. I ended up selling a bunch of this on the marketplace too. So we made a bunch of money just from these 2 runs. It was almost like 3,000 gold total. But that's going to be it for this video. I really hope that y'all enjoyed it. And let me know how you feel about fighter. Do you think it's too strong? Do you think it's just right? Do you think that it needed this perk because it wasn't strong enough before? Let me know down in the comments. Also, if you enjoyed the video, please just give me a like or subscribe to the channel. Anything and everything helps, and I really do appreciate each and every one of you who do. And the last thing is I have a YouTube membership, so if you want to join that, just head over to my homepage. And I have a Discord channel now, so if you want to join a community of people and maybe game with some other players, then I have a link down in the description below. See you there. All right, I hope y'all have a great day, and I'll see you next time. Peace.